I've been traveling a lot, so it's been a journey, but I'm loving it.
What have you been doing?
I've been so I was in Marrakesh and I went to New York and I went back to LA and now I'm back in New York and I'm going back to LA. So it's been a lot of just traveling through.
Oh my gosh, what are you doing in Marrakesh?
I've just never been to Marrakesh, so I really want to check out the music scene there. I have some DJs who connected me, or some friends who connected me to some DJs. So I got to just like check out some of the scene there. Just I've never been, so why not?
Cool.
hmm
That is so rad. Wow, how long were you there for?
I was there for like 5 days, so pretty short, but it was fun.
Very
Very
sick.
memorable. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats. What a cool,
Thank you.
I've never been there. What a cool experience.
Oh, you would love it. It's so nice.
Oh, it actually reminds me to write something down really quickly. Oh my goodness.
How
Today's
are
my
you?
first
You've been
day back.
busy.
Um, yeah, it is my first day back
You've been
in
traveling.
at home for like over a
Okay.
month. So I woke up, I slept in my bed last night for the first time, and I, 4 different times, and I woke up like, oh my gosh, what time do we have to leave today? For like, I thought I was like in
Yeah.
Idaho or in Whitefish or in
Yeah.
Vegas. And then I would remember that I'm in my bed, and I'd be like, ah, yes.
Oh,
So
that's a
that was
good
awesome.
feeling.
It's the best feeling in
That's a
the
great
world.
feeling. I
It's
can
such a good feeling.
imagine.
So okay, well, I'm going to. Oh, before I dive into the little interview part,
hmm
you're a photographer.
Yeah, I am.
Tell me about that. How do you what kind of photography do you do? How do you balance out with your DJ career?
Yeah, actually, I do want to touch on that topic too. I'm a fashion photographer, so I work in fashion and I also shoot interiors. And I've been doing that way longer than I have been DJing. But actually, I think the two of them kind of ties hand in hand because of my background in fashion, I also end up DJing a lot of fashion events when I'm in Hong Kong, which is like quite niche,
Oh,
but it's also very fun and interesting. So like because of
cool.
my fashion background, I've played at like Vogue parties, like Harper's Bazaar parties. So that's like a very different
Whoa.
side of DJing that like I've tackled other than
No,
just clubs and like nightlife, you
no
know?
kidding. What kind of music do you play
Yeah.
in those at those parties?
So those, I would say it's more chill. Like they want something like not too intense, like something quite like vibey, loungy. I usually go for a bit more like funk and groove or like more classic house because I feel like that's
Totally.
something people can vibe with, but not like too in your face, you know?
Totally. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome. Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
Do you know Chloe Kaye? Have you ever heard of her? She's
Yes,
a
I know who she
Yeah,
is.
she
Yeah.
started as a like sort of fashion DJ. She would DJ all those
Oh,
parties,
really?
and yeah, and then
Oh, I
sort of
love her
transitioned
music.
to
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't
she's
know that.
incredible. So
Okay.
that's a good blueprint for you. It's very cool.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read your little blurb and then ask you a few
Okay.
questions. And this portion's just 5 minutes because there's only 5 minutes for interview on the in between your mix on the
Okay.
radio show. So yeah, just it hopefully won't be too painful. You are listening to Femme House Radio this week with your host LP Giobbi. And hailing from the vibrant city of Hong Kong, we have DJ Nat Dunn, who is making waves in the industry with her eclectic taste and high energy performances. Specializing in indie electronic, Afro house, and deep house, she brings a unique blend of sounds that always keeps the groove alive. Having graced the decks at renowned venues across the globe such as Hong Kong, Bali, New York, and Tel Aviv, Natalie aims to immerse her audiences into an exhilarating journey through her craftily curated sets and hopes to create an experience that uplifts and unites audiences around the world through house music. I personally got to see her play at Hearsay in New York, and I can attest to her true skills on the dance floor. Welcome to Femme House Radio, Nat. It's a pleasure to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
So, walk us through your journey thus far. What brought you
hmm
into this space? You grew up in Hong Kong. Is this where you
hmm
learned how to DJ?
Yes. So I learned through a few like other DJs in Hong Kong. But growing up, I've always been really into music. Like music was something I started as a kid. I played the piano, I played the guitar. Even in high school, like my favorite class was band class. I actually have a music degree from university. So my music background is in like songwriting, but more in like scoring. So for like short films, like so that was like my degree in music. And so for me, like music is just something that's always been so constant in my life and something I've always wanted to do. And I think now being a DJ is like an outlet that I'm able to like, be an outlet for me to pursue in music. So yeah.
Amazing. Oh, that's so awesome.
hmm
I also have a degree in music, and it's been fun
Oh,
to bring those
nice.
two worlds together. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah. I'm like using that degree finally.
yeah.
Kind of.
Turns out that was
Yeah,
worth it. Yeah.
exactly.
Tell us about your upcoming travels and your plans to expand globally. You aim to play in Thailand, Singapore, and Europe this summer.
Yeah, so I have a lot of travel plans coming up. It's constantly changing. Everything is always shifting. But one thing I really want to do is I really want to like bring, like help contribute to the house music scene in Asia. So house
Mm,
music is a growing scene in Asia. I'd say it wouldn't be like the biggest. Like there's still a lot of like especially in Hong Kong, it's still very EDM focused,
hmm
like hip hop and rap. There's not a huge space for house music. And so for me, I think one of my goals as a DJ too is like, especially through my travels, like I want to travel, like get inspired, like, even in New York for the past month, I've been so inspired by the music here. I'm hearing so many different sounds, and I'm like really, really excited to bring those sounds back to Asia and back to Hong Kong and really want to like help that scene, like the house music scene grow there. And
Oh,
so
that's
for me,
incredible.
like, yeah. And so coming up, I'm planning to go to London, actually, a bit of a switch, Bali again, potentially. And I might come back to New York, big chance. And I'm also hitting Mykonos and a few spots in Europe. So there's a few,
When
like,
are you going to
a lot of
Bali?
traveling. Bali, I'll be potentially end of June and maybe end of July and beginning of August. So it
I'll
depends.
be there end of July, and I will be working out of W Bali's Sound Suite. If you want to
Oh,
come and
wow.
jam with me, yeah,
Wait,
we'll offline
you're
about
playing a
that.
festival in Bali, right? I
Yeah,
think I
yeah,
saw.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm staying there a week around that to do some work out of the studio at the W. So let's
Okay.
definitely link
Well,
on that.
more reason to visit Bali. So,
Yes, please do. I loved
yeah.
your set at Hearsay. What is your
Thank
crate
you.
digging process? Where do you find your music?
Ooh, there's so many ways. Well, for me, I spend almost an hour or two every day, like going through, or even more, depending on like if I'm preparing for a set or not. And I just go through a ton of sets on YouTube, like of my favorite artists. I dig through a lot of SoundCloud. I go through a lot like Beatport, tracklist. Like I just dig through a lot of like my favorite artists and hopefully find like one or two songs I like, through the many
Ah,
sets that I've seen and just kind of incorporate that into my sets and my sound. But
that's
but I love
awesome.
it. I love, or even honestly going out to parties. Like I
Yep,
collect a lot of new music by going to a lot of
same.
parties.
Totally.
Yeah,
I
so
love
that's
Shazam with all my heart. Yeah.
oh yeah. It's part of my
It's a great
process.
product.
I'm partying with intention.
Totally. I hear that.
Yeah.
And finally, last question. What
hmm
advice would you give your younger self?
Ooh, honestly, follow your dreams. Like I never imagined myself to be in a position as lucky as I'm today where I can be earning money doing what I love, whether it's photography or DJing or music. And I've
Mm-hmm.
always like as growing up in Asian culture, you've always been, conditioned to think like, oh, I need a very stable job, working a very stable kind of career. But I think taking that leap of faith was like something that I never regretted. And I'm so happy that I'm able to be in a space where I can like do what I love and also get paid for it.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah.
blessing. Awesome. Well, Nat
Yeah.
Dunn, we are huge fans of yours. I absolutely loved your
hmm
set at Hearsay. I'm so excited to see what you do in the future. You have our full support here at Femme House. Thank you.
Thank you.